Oliver Bearman could potentially be the successor to Sir Lewis Hamilton at Ferrari. So obviously Ollie Bearman replacing Nico Hulkenberg's spot at Haas for 2025 on a multi-year deal is the youngster. First of all, I just want to say, by the way, how weird is it that Ollie Bearman, what is he, 14th in the F2 standings, 100 points off first, and he's getting a seat in F1? How weird's that?
It's weird, but we all know what he was like. It's just the fact that he's been given this shit car.
Yeah, Prema isn't doing
It's not
too
looking
well.
great, is it?
I mean, obviously F2 is way more leaning on being a spec series than Formula 1. But you still have to remember, the team have to set the cars up and get everything right. And, like, Prema just not having a good time.
It's not gone well at all for them. But we know how good Ollie Bearman is. We saw him in Saudi.
Yeah.
So you can't why you've given the seat is 14th in F2. You can't really. You've seen him in Saudi. You know how good he is.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. So the question that I have for you is, do you think Oliver Bearman, do you think Oliver Bearman could potentially be the successor to Sir Lewis Hamilton at Ferrari? We assume Lewis Hamilton will finish his career at Ferrari. Will Ollie Bearman replace him eventually in a few years' time?
Yeah, he will.
Do you think that's the trajectory for Ollie Bearman?
I think that's the goal for Ollie Bearman. I think Ollie Bearman obviously going to Haas with the Ferrari lockdown. I think the goal is to get into Ferrari for him. Obviously, he's got Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton in his way at the moment, which is not easy.
It's not the greatest drivers to have in your way.
But as we've seen with Ferrari, the only driver that they've promoted as in a youth driver is Charles Leclerc.
Yes.
So it's going to take him a while.
Yeah, Ferrari don't... this is an interesting point you bring up about Ferrari. They don't bat an eyelid to bringing in drivers from other teams, i.e. Carlos Sainz, Sebastian Vettel, Lewis Hamilton. They'll do it.
Ferrari is go big from whoever.
Yes.
They're not a Red Bull who will just gradually bring prospects up through, which, to be fair, Ferrari don't have a feeder team like Red Bull.
I mean, Haas and, Alfa Romeo was their
but they're not
feeder
like
teams.
They're not massively like, they're not like RB is to Red Bull, are they?
No. I mean, they don't have a feeder team. No.
So, no, but I think Ollie Bearman's trajectory is Ferrari. I think Ferrari know how good Ollie Bearman is. So, I think it'll be a case of when Lewis Hamilton wants to leave, not push Lewis Hamilton to leave.
No, that was never the point I was asking. I assume it'd be when he retires. You ain't going to push Lewis Hamilton out of the team.
Ollie Bearman will be the next Ferrari driver if he does well at Haas. That is like, if you think he's going to do what he's going to do at Haas, Ollie Bearman will. His next step will be Ferrari.
So then it'll be a Charles Leclerc, Ollie Bearman lineup.
Charles coming to the end as well.
Well, I don't know. If he goes as long as Fernando or Hamilton has gone.
Yeah, if he goes as long as Fernando or Lewis, we've got another decade of Charles.
Yeah, Charles is not going anywhere. But latter half of his career, shall we say? Who is Ollie Bearman's? Who do you think Ollie Bearman? Okay, so obviously Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc are going to be the Ferrari pairing for at least 2 years.
Yeah,
at least 2 years until maybe Hamilton calls it a day.
Yeah.
Who do you think Ollie Bearman's competition is to get that seat from Hamilton?
Well, it depends. Like, do you go through the Ferrari's track record of bringing people from other teams in?
Yep.
So, if you were to do that, you've got to say, the thing is with Ferrari, every driver wants to wear that red suit with a yellow prancing horse.
Yes, of course
they do. So you can't discount anyone. Anyone who's of at the top level has a chance.
Yeah.
So, but I would say Ferrari would push for Lando. They would push for Lando.
Yeah.
Do I think Lando would go? Well, Yeah, I do. If they had a championship winning car.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. You said it. You said it the best. Every driver, no matter what, wants to race for Ferrari at some point. I mean, maybe with this whole Red Bull drama, maybe Max Verstappen fancies his chances at Ferrari as well at some point.
Yeah, but Max Verstappen, the amount of times that he's on about retiring early, I think by the time that comes free, Max Verstappen's going to have retired.
That's crazy that he's going to retire.
I think Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton will probably retire at the same time.
That's mental.
That's how mental that is.
That is mental.
Like,
I don't know. We'll see.
I think Max wants to move on to other formulas. Like, I think
I don't know. This is a different topic of conversation, but I don't agree necessarily, but I can see it happening. But either way, who else do you think? Do you think there's any other young drivers that could potentially snap it away from him?
I mean, the only thing, obviously, you've got Antonelli going to Mercedes.
Yeah.
Well, that's his future prospects.
Yeah.
But you can't turn away from his Italian links.
Nope.
He's Italian.
Yeah.
So you've got to have the thought in your head. He wants to be at Ferrari.
If he performs well at Mercedes and Mercedes don't have the best car,
he will want to go to Ferrari at some point in his career, Antonelli, because he's Italian.
Yeah. Do you think potentially there's a chance someone like Oscar Piastri could move to Ferrari, depending if McLaren focus way too much on Lando? Do you think Oscar fancies himself a move at some point?
Yeah, I think Oscar's a good shout for a Ferrari seat, of course. I think Albon could be a good shout for a Ferrari seat.
Yeah, that could be a step up for Alex Albon.
There are a few drivers that there could be. I mean, I think Gasly's gone now. He's had his chance at a big team.
No, Gasly could be a shout, I think.
I don't think. I think the time that Gasly spent at Red Bull isn't great. I think Gasly's not gonna. He might get a McLaren. Gasly, he might get a McLaren seat if Oscar Orlando goes. I could see that, but Ferrari, like you get your crop from, like, Ferrari got signed because he was doing miraculous things in that McLaren.
Yeah.
At the time. They got Charles, that was the only youth driver that had gone through, but then they've got Fernando, world champion, Schumacher, world champion, Raikkonen, world champion, Massa, who was almost world champion, give it 2 more corners.
Yeah.
Or 2 fewer corners, should I say. Like,
so you're saying they go for world champion potential drivers, and you don't think Gasly might not be that?
Yes. I don't think Gasly's a world champion potential driver, but I think you look at Albon. He's a 50-50 for me. Like, you like him. Do you probably think he's a world championship driver?
Given the machinery, yes. He's more of I see Albon as a Jenson Button type driver, where Button, I think, given close cars, given close machinery in the years of 2010, 2012, Button obviously was close, but he wasn't he wasn't beating Sebastian Vettel, you know what I mean?
No.
He wasn't beating Hamilton, he wasn't even beating Mark Webber at some points, and Fernando Alonso. But he's there, like, he's quick. But given the machinery, he will tear the floor up. And I think Albon's that type of driver.
Yeah, okay. I get that. I can see that. I mean, I think that's what Ferrari will see if it was in a miraculous world of they choosing Albon or Gasly.
Maybe
they would go with an Albon. But I think Ferrari, they never really promote youth. So the only youth I can see it being would be Ollie Bearman or potentially a Kimi Antonelli if he's performing in that Mercedes.
So yeah, I mean, Ollie Bearman's got a lot of competition on his hands. Let's hope he performs next year for Haas and the year after that, so that when Hamilton, we assume, does retire.
Well,
you don't know. You don't know if he's won the title, he probably will. But if he hasn't, you don't know.
He's gonna drag it on.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, won't we? But anyway, make sure to comment down below who will replace Lewis Hamilton at Ferrari. Will it be Ollie Bearman? Will it be someone else? Let us know, and we'll see you for later on this week's video, which is on Thursday, I believe.
Yeah.